right, parents, let's do this. Welcome to the second grade version of the Hunger Games, which I like to call Test Score Day. So you probably got your kids' information and was like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. I don't know what I'm looking at. Did my kid learn anything? Doesn't even look like it. I have no idea what to do. That's totally okay, because here's the deal. Teachers go to school for 4 years, sometimes longer, and even when we get out, we don't know what we're doing. So I figured I would make this video to kind of explain to you the information that you're looking at, the data, what you should be concerned about, what you shouldn't be concerned about, and just a general gist of how to, sorry, that's Mrs. Keys, shout out, I got your text message. I'll get right on it. So I am being a little bougie, and I will probably do like something on the front. But right now, if you're in Miss Edwards' class, you got a yellow folder. Everybody else is not gonna get probably all of these items at one time. I am just a little bit ahead of the curve, and I have stuff done, and that's totally fine. But you will have this video to save at a later date. So in your folder, you're gonna have DIBELS stuff on one side, and you're gonna have STAR and iReady on the other. Okay, so let's start with the easy stuff, the STAR and the iReady. So your STAR and iReady paperwork is going to be stapled together. Okay, kids' names at the top, their reading level, and then this part right here is the most important part on this piece of paper. Basically, it tells you how well they're reading, what level they can read at. It's not always a grade level equivalent, but it's very close to what they can read independently. So that's what this is. On the back, it even says Ready Math. This is their iReady Math score. It will give you a line of, let me find a better example. It gives you a line, and then it'll give you like they grew this much. Let me find a better one. Okay. So, like this. It's got the line and how much they grew and their improvement, and then it'll tell you like what the target is, what on average is, all that jazz right there. Super important information. Basically it tells you at what point your kid is doing math. And if you look over to the side, it will say, can you read that? It'll say like early first grade, middle of second grade. It'll tell you where they are in their learning process and like what they are excelling at and what they need help. So it'll also have a typical growth and a stretch growth. Your typical growth is the score that your child is shooting for, and then a stretch growth is like above and beyond that. So it sets them 2 goals. The only goal that you have to be concerned with is the typical growth. And most of these kids have almost met their goal. I'm super proud of them for that. I will also say back to the Renaissance. It'll say Renaissance at the top. Goodness. All my stuff's, I'm literally spread out on the floor because it's taking a lot of space. It'll say Renaissance, that's iReady. It'll say Renaissance at the top. That's their STAR test. Okay, so that's STAR and iReady, and they're stapled together for you to look at. Then on the other side for DIBELS, okay, I am probably, my kids know, parents, y'all know I'm extra. So when you get these test scores in, I always have the concern of, you know, I have parents who are like, did my kid do good? Did they not do good? Like they're still in the red, or they're still in the yellow, or they're still in the green, like, well, their score went up, like what happened? And so I have gone through and I have made it a little bit easier for you to read. So first thing, it's gonna be this pink page, okay? It's gonna have your student's name, the date, That's on there. This will explain to you if they have a literacy plan, meaning that they need intervention or things like that. That will explain to you what this is, okay? When you flip to the next page, this is where you find your DIBELS score for the middle of the year, okay? This breaks down what it is, and then it charts where your student is actually, okay? Now, I took this a step further because I was like, nobody held on to that from the beginning of the year. Nobody did. Like, what goal are they supposed to be meeting? And, you know, what all does that look like? So I did something else. I went back. Wait, that's the wrong one. I went back and I cut out their scores from the beginning of the year and the middle of the year, and I put them side by side so you could see exactly what your student was growing. I even went so far as to put the amount of growth that they had from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year on their composite score, meaning their overall score. Like ACT composite would be 24, but you say you got like a 25 in math, you know? So that's your composite. And then each individual student has a goal that they have to meet by the end of the year. That is what teachers are assessed on to make sure that they're highly effective, okay? Points needed to meet their end of the year goal, okay? And then I filled that in for you. Now look at this student. This student grew 68 points, okay? That's a lot. That's fantastic. On average, most classes grew 32 points on average. So this is fabulous, okay? But they still have 50 points to go to meet their goal. This is very achievable if you continue to do what you're doing at home to help your student, okay? Super easy. If you just transferred in or you were not here at the very beginning of the year and I don't have your DIBELS scores, your sheet is gonna look like this, because I don't have your beginning of the year stuff. So if you have it, feel free to add it in so you really can see a side-by-side comparison, because this was mind-blowing when I was looking at it. And I'm gonna tell you why it was mind-blowing. Because not only did this person grow, but you can see here that like the green starts at 50 and 86 for this one. But then when it went to the middle of the year, it started at 86 and went to 103. So you can see how much harder it got from beginning of the year to the middle of the year. So this is what this sheet is, okay? That's just if you want to know, did my kid grow? Is my kid on track? I don't know if what we're doing at home is working. That will tell you. Okay, because we're still doing stuff in the classroom that's going to benefit them as well. Then the next thing that I included, and you're probably like, Miss Edwards, why did you include all this? Because I'm bougie and I want you to know how hard your kid worked and how much effort that they put in. Okay, I also want you to be able to see the growth that your student has had and the amount of time that you guys spend on homework or extra practice or the stuff that we do at school is is really benefiting your students. So this report is also coming home. This is your DIBELS, but this is the DIBELS that we have to do through the progress monitoring system. So they are tested just like they would be tested in a DIBELS situation on the computer, one-on-one, timed, okay? So, and it goes through, every time they were progress monitored, it charted it. It said, okay, this is where you started, and every time we progress monitored, it went up or it went down, but it's charted. And then it'll even give you a estimated goal for the end of the year, okay? It's got 4 categories, well below, core, and above, okay? And you'll be able to see from the bottom, well below is this area. Well below, core, and then the blue, I would say this is blue, but it's clearly gray. The above is in this higher area. So, and it will break down, I don't know if you can see this. It breaks down the date that they were tested, the date, beginning of the year, that was where they started, their official testing score, when they were progress monitored in the middle, kind of in between, and their middle of the year score. Some students were tested multiple times. They were tested more than 3 times. So if you'll look, each one is recorded with the date, whether it was a progress monitoring situation or if it was a benchmark. So when you look here, this one has way more dots because that's how many more times they were tested than any other kid. Okay, so I hope that helps. I hope that you guys, that answers so many of your questions. But if it doesn't, please, please, please call, reach out, schedule a parent conference, something. Because let me tell you, this stuff is not easy to understand, and you're not alone in that. So if you need any help, let us know. If you need ideas on how to bring your nonsense word fluency up, or maybe your oral reading fluency, or your words read correctly, please let us know, because we have so many resources that we can give you to do at home. And we want to see your kids succeed. And it takes a village. We are part of that village. You're part of the village. Let's be a village together, and let's get these kids where they need to be. Okay? And seriously, if you have any questions, please reach out. And I hope that this is a little bit more helpful for you. And if you need anything, let us know. Have a great Tuesday.